Honourable David Parker.
Mr Speaker, I'm not going to address the climate change issues that have been addressed by my colleague from the Greens, but I do acknowledge the petition that has been lodged today by, amongst others, Sir Lloyd Gearing and Sir Alan Mark. Mr Speaker, the Deputy Prime Minister in his address said that the Labour Party was letting down this Parliament. Mr Speaker, the worst example of someone letting down this Parliament is the member who's just walking out, which is Judy Collins. Mr Speaker, that minister will not answer questions, will not be held to account. That minister most clearly allowed her personal, family, financial interests to come in conflict with her ministerial duties. She profited her family through her ministerial rank, and she will not answer questions in this House. She does not claim that there is a public interest at stake. She says that there's some private interest of hers that means she does not have to acknowledge who were the paid officials there. We do not know whether this particular official is a multi-billionaire on the back of corrupt practices in China. We do not know whether this person is a good person. We can't tell, despite the fact that there's lots of news of corruption in China in respect of the facilitation of international trade with companies, including, no doubt, some companies from New Zealand, because the minister refuses to answer questions. And that is a disgraceful stain upon the reputation of this government, and through their actions a stain upon the character of New Zealand. And New Zealanders do not like it, because we have a reputation for transparency and freedom of corruption, and we have no transparency from this minister, and we have the stink of corruption, her personal interest having to come into conflict with her ministerial interest. Mr Speaker, in the last week we've had the Prime Minister laid bare what their narrative is for the election, for the budget. They're trying to say that under them, don't blame them for rising interest rates, blame a future Labour government. I thought John Armstrong got that quite. He got his column over the weekend, hit the nail on the head there. The government claimed responsibility for interest reductions caused by the global financial crisis. That was their good management, they said, their good economic management. Then they turned around and their next line was rising interest rates are caused by their good economic management, and that didn't work. So now they're trying to say rising interest rates are caused by the next Labour government. Now, why this worries people is that if you've got a $400,000 mortgage in Auckland, and a lot of people do, because house prices, inflation have just gone out of control in Auckland because of the terrible housing policies of the National Party, if you've got a $400,000 mortgage, at 5% you're paying 20 grand a year. At 8% you're paying 1.5 times of that. You're paying about $1,000 a month more, $1,000 a month more on your mortgage. And National are scared of that. National are scared of that. What else are they scared of? They're scared of the fact, as John Armstrong puts it here, the placid mood of the electorate is a reflection of the current optimism that New Zealand has finally turned a very important corner. It is the mood which is the harbinger of one of the most dangerous forces in politics, rising public expectations of what politicians can and must deliver. And New Zealanders, they're sick of waiting. 45% of New Zealanders didn't get a wage increase last year. They're facing higher interest rates, higher rents, higher electricity prices, and all they want is their fair share. And they know that under this crowd, they never get it, because everything goes to the top few percent, disproportionately owning all of the houses, buying all the luxury cars, buying the shares in the SOEs. Under this crowd, that's what happens, and New Zealanders are tiring at it. You know, the government, they've had the visit, playing golf with Obama, the visit to the Premier of China, thank you, Mr Speaker, the visit to the Premier of China, they've got the Royal Tour, and you know what? They're still stuck in terms of the divide between left and right. It's 2%, and the Right Honourable Winston Peters is on about 7%. That's why the National Party's worried. That's why they're worried. Labor, the Greens, combined are within 2% of National. National's run out of their friends. They're either in the dock or on their way out of Parliament for other reasons. And Winston Peters is sitting there smiling his ears today on 7% in the polls. The National Party's got a problem. And that's why they're trying to blame increases in interest rates on the next Labor government.
David Bennett. Mr Speaker.